Hey everyone, you're here sewing with Cody and Pete, and this is part 3 of the Bernina 570 Quilters Edition brochure overview. So in this video, we are talking about standard sewing and quilting accessories that come with the Bernina 570. In our previous videos, we've talked about general information about the machine, sewing and quilting information dealing with the machine, like a lot of the stitches and things. Now we're just talking about some of the things that come with it. So first thing are the feet, really. So the different feet that come with it. So the Bernina 570 comes with 8 different feet. It comes with the number 1C. So the number 1C is basically your general purpose sewing foot. This is kind of what you can use most of all your sewing is with the 1C. So the other foot that comes with is the one that's on it right now. So because this machine is a dual feed machine, so basically has a built-in walking foot. This machine then comes with some dual feed feet, one of them being a number 1D. So here's the number 1D, very similar to the regular number 1C, except underneath it has this cutout, this opening. So what this does is it allows for that dual feed system or that built-in walking foot to slide in right behind the needle, and it'll help pull all layers of fabric at the same time. So one thing to always remember whenever you're working with the number 1D or any of the D feet, you want to make sure you always have that dual feed engaged. Otherwise, you'll have horrible feeding. Your stitch length won't be consistent. You have some puckering with your fabric, and all that's just because you don't have your dual feed engaged. You don't have pressure being applied to those feed dogs in the bottom back. So 1C, 1D. The other one is your 2A. This is a wonderful foot. So the 2A foot is our overlock foot. So we've talked about this quite a few times in other videos. So when working with a specific stitch, we're going to say stitch 3. So if we look up here, we select stitch 3. Then it's going to tell us that we want to use foot 2A, which is this foot, the overlock stitch foot. And that's because this is for doing kind of like what an overlock or what a serger does, where it stitches around the edge of fabric or a quilt, and it prevents the fabric from fraying. So using this stitch in this foot, it achieves that. So because it has this little pin right here, that little pin will help secure those stitches while you're sewing to prevent them from the tension from pulling in and puckering your fabric. So that's why you want to use foot 2A when using those particular stitches for that specific technique. The next one is our 3A. This is our automatic buttonhole foot. This is a wonderful, wonderful foot, especially when you're making buttonholes, obviously. But you can also use this foot to do some controlled darning. So this foot can make a buttonhole up to 3 centimeters. So you just program in the machine your the buttonhole you want to make, and you basically tell it what size by placing the button on the screen, and it will make that buttonhole that same size over and over and over with very, very little input from you. The next foot is the zipper foot, 4D. So this is also a dual feed foot, as you can see back here. It's got that cutout in the back. So here's your zipper foot. So this is the foot you would want to use when putting on zippers, quite naturally. So what you would do here is you would move the needle over to the left or over to the right, depending on what side of the zipper that you're sewing on. This is one of the only feet that you can't use the center needle position because it will hit the center of the foot and break it. But always make sure you're using your dual feed, you have your dual feed engaged. The next foot is that comes with the 5 series, or some of the 5 series, is the number 5, actually. So the number 5 is your blind hem stitch foot. However, since the 570 is a quilter's edition, they left that foot out. So the blind hem stitch foot is an extra foot you would have to add to the 570, but the Bernina 590 does come with the number 5 blind hem stitch foot. The next foot that comes with the 570 is number 20. So this foot is one of many in its class. So this foot is designed for stitching satin stitches or really dense decorative stitches, and that's because underneath you can see how the center portion is essentially raised up, so it will be above your stitches once they're created, so they won't get caught on the lip of the foot, which happens with some of the other feet. So this is an open toe embroidery foot, so this is excellent for applique. So you can go to a blanket stitch, applique stitch, move the needle all the way over to the right, all the way over to the left, and you'll see it has those little dugouts on each end, so that needle, regardless of its size, can tuck in that corner when working with those stitches. A wonderful, wonderful foot. The next foot that comes with the Bernina 570 is the 97. So this is your 1/4 inch foot designed for 9mm stitch width machines like the 570. This foot does not come with the 590, so basically the number 5 and the 97 got traded off. So the 590 has the blind hem stitch, number 5 foot. The 570 has the 97 foot, which is your 1/4 inch foot. So the reason you always really want to use a 97, or you have the option with this machine, a 97D foot, with a 9mm stitch width machine, is because unlike our other 1/4 inch feet, this foot is only a 1/4 inch from the needle to the right side of the foot. The rest of it, on the left side, where our fabric's always going to be typically, it's wider. And that's so it can encompass and come in contact with all of the feed dogs on the left-hand side to give you much more accurate and better feeding, opposed to our other 1/4 inch feet, which are super narrow, that just don't work nearly as well on a 9mm stitch width machine. The other foot that comes with both the 570 and the 590 is our stitch regulator. So we have a video just on the Bernina stitch. We've got a couple of videos just on the Bernina stitch regulator, and one in particular using it on the Bernina 570 Quilters edition. So the stitch regulator comes with three different soles. So it comes with its own little tin. The tin covers may vary; they change over the year. So here's your stitch regulator. This is something that's unique to Bernina. It regulates your stitches while you're quilting. So it comes with a closed toe sole. It comes with an open toe sole. And then my personal favorite, the Echo quilting sole. So what's nice about it has beveled edges, so it just glides over seams and different layers of fabric more smoothly. And those are really easy to change, which I show in my other BSR videos. So something that comes with all of the Berninas is a slide-on table. But I get that question a lot, is does the machine come with a slide-on table? Yes. So all of our Berninas come with a nice free arm slide-on table, which mean they don't have any feet. And it's a very robust table. I apply a lot of pressure to our machines while I'm putting on binding and things like that over the years, and I've never broken a table. I've never had to replace any of the tables. So there's no legs, but it's very strong and very sturdy. All the Bernina 5 series sewing machines come with the knee lift. So that's our freehand system. So here's our Bernina freehand system. I've got this shown in other videos. So this just goes nicely in that little hole, and this would hang underneath the table, and you'd use your knee to raise and lower that foot. It also raises and lowers the feed dogs and opens and closes the tension disc. It's a wonderful feature. That's a Bernina patent from way, way back when. It also comes with a touch pen, basically a stylus to work with the screen, and there's a little magnet on the side of the machine that can hold your stylus. There's a little picture of the stylus on the side as well. A dust cover, a fabric dust cover, which is really nice. We've seen that in some of the other videos. And it's got a pocket for your power cord, your knee lift, your slide-on table, all so you can travel with an opening for the handle. And lastly, on the Bernina brochure list, it comes with the newly redesigned, what we call Barbie box. So this is the new magnetic accessory box, which we can see here. So when the table's not slid on, so we can take this guy off. Oops, got some thread. So the way this works is we put it on here, and it just attaches to the back of the machine. It's magnetic, so it's held in there nicely. So you can put your cover on, you would have all your feet in there, and you can go and travel with it, and it's all compact and in there. And it's nice and streamlined in the back. And when you're ready for it, you just take it off, and you're good to go. So you can put your feet back where they came from. And there's a spot for a little bit of everything in your little box. So that's it when it comes to the Bernina standard sewing and quilting accessories for the Bernina 570. If you like the video, please always just give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos dealing with the 570. And of course, after the 570, the 590, which we've pretty much talked about, we'll talk about more detail when it comes to embroidery, because the 590 is an embroidery beast of a machine. It's a very fierce machine. And then we'll be working on the Bernina 7 series, the highly anticipated 7 series. And we'll be doing some comparisons between the Bernina 570 and the 770, because they are very similar, but I get asked the difference between the two, the biggest being the size. All right, well, stay tuned for more videos, and happy sewing.